Ooh.
I'm Hannah.
I'm Tiffany.
And welcome to Witchy Weirdos.
I will never, ever, ever get over that intro. I love it.
We're nailing it.
So today we have something not random in nature for this podcast, but definitely random in format. We're basically going to be doing haunted places sales pitches. If you heard the end of our last podcast, I basically brain dumped the idea. It made no sense, but it kind of seemed fun, so we're going to do it.
Yeah, I love this idea.
Yeah, we have 3 places each. We have double checked that we don't have the same ones because that would have just been a disaster.
And our luck.
Yeah. So I'm going to dive in with my first one because I'm way too excited about it.
Yes, go for it.
So the first one that I've got, oh my God, we are going here, even if you don't want to go here.
I feel like this whole list is just like one big road trip waiting to happen.
I can't wait. So the first one is Pluckley in Kent. So Pluckley is a village in Kent. And if you want like Hot Fuzz vibes, like Hot Fuzz Little Village vibes, but with ghosts instead of a cult.
Oh my God.
This is like, it sums it up so perfectly.
That actually sounds like my dream.
It, honestly, you're going to love this. So Pluckley is said to be the most haunted village in Britain. And it has like, you know, like picture perfect tiny village like appearances. Like that's exactly it. It's like a sleepy little corner of Kent, but it's known for having at least 12 resident ghosts, which,
oh my God,
which get this, in 1989 earned its place in the Guinness World Book of Records.
No way.
My place has credentials. Don't even try me. So yeah, there have been reports of local ghosts by like locals and visitors for years. And among the apparitions, there are some that come up like again and again. And there's this one about this headmaster that was found hanging by students. And someone called the Watercress Woman, who's said to sit on Pinnock Bridge, smoking her pipe and drinking gin, which is a vibe.
Yes.
Such a vibe. So I'm going to give you some more information to tease this one out of you a little bit. So this information is from ghostlyconnections.com, which sounds like ghost Tinder, but unfortunately
it does a little bit like meet your after dead love interests.
Yeah, when I read it, I was like, is this a ghost dating app? I love it. I'm glad I know about it now. So the hanging man. So this one is also known as the schoolmaster or the ghost of Dicky Buss's Lane. But what it comes down to is there are 4 different accounts of that story. So the first version is that the hanging body was of a schoolmaster that was suspected to have committed suicide after World War I. And the hanging body of the schoolmaster was found, the schoolmaster was from Smarden. I don't know if that's like a place nearby. I think it's from the other ones. I think it's a place nearby.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, and he was found by Richard Buss a few weeks after he went missing. So that story like doesn't have a lot of detail to it, but that's like version 1.
That's got such like campfire traditional story, isn't it? Like
you're so right.
Yeah, it's creeping me out, but in such a good way.
Oh, you have no idea. This place is terrifying. I've got so many stories for you.
Oh my God.
The second version is that a guy called Henry Turf was the headmaster of Pluckley School. So he was close friends with the headmaster of the nearby village of Smarden School.
Ah, there we go.
Yeah. So that headmaster would travel to Pluckley every Sunday and visit Turf, and they would talk about politics for some reason. That's super interesting. However, one Sunday, the headmaster from Smarden went missing, and he was later found on the land leading to the mills. So he had hanged himself in the tree.
Oh, man.
And apparently, completely bereaved by this, Henry Turf decided to take his own life a few days later. So he did so in the same place, in the same manner as his friend. And although the headmaster of Smarden's ghost is never seen, apparently Turf ghost is seen on that lane.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, and so he's apparently seen hanging from the tree.
Oh, that's horrific.
Yeah, I know.
Can you imagine driving past and just like, oh God, creepy.
I know. Version 3 is that in the 1920s, at the end of Dick Buss's Lane, a group of children on their way to school came across the body of their teacher hanging from the branch of a tree. The reason for the suicide was apparently never discovered, but on certain nights when there's like a light breeze rustling the trees and apparently a full moon, he can be seen.
Oh my God.
Just like swinging there.
Oh my God, you're giving me such chills.
I swear, this is just like one story from this whole place. I have so many.
Insane.
Like, It's absolutely mad. The fourth version of it is basically the same as the second, but it's saying that the person that committed suicide was from Smarden School only, and Henry didn't commit suicide.
Oh, so he just found the body instead.
Yeah, exactly. And apparently Richard, like the headmaster that was at Pluckley, actually went to meet Richard Buss, who became the Phantom of the Pinnocks, which is like a whole different story.
Oh, God.
And they were the ones that would talk about politics and stuff. But on Sunday, Henry Turf, who was the headmaster of Pluckley School, didn't appear, and then his body was found hanging in the tree. So I went and I looked some of this up, like I looked for articles and stuff, and it looks as though it was Henry Turf that committed suicide, not the headmaster of Smarden, because the headmaster of Smarden lived to like after all of this.
Okay.
So I think like these are the different versions, but I think it was actually Henry Turf that is like the supposed ghost. So that's like just one tiny thing.
Oh my God.
But if we went to this place, right, there is already a full out ghost tour, like walking tour.
I love that.
Yeah, it takes 3 hours. It takes you all around Pluckley to all the different locations. It gives you historical context at every single point and very explicit directions on like where to look. And I've got a few of the things that are on the ghost trail for you, just to like.
Oh my God, I want to go so badly. You're doing good. Mm-hmm. This is a good like travel agent speech right now.
I know, I've really thought about this. So these include, but are not limited to, believe me, these are only 5 of them, the Church of St. Nicholas. So that's like one of the stops, and that's basically numerous members of the Nicholas family were buried there. And there's apparently a strange dancing light that you can see in the upper section of the window, like on your right. And that's often accompanied by the sound of knocking from the family vault beneath your feet.
Oh my God.
I know. Then there's the next one called the Greystones. So the Greystones is a location haunted by a monk who drifts among the surrounding trees. He's said to have lived in Tudor times, and is reputed to have fallen in love with the master of the neighbouring property. And she died under tragic circumstances, and then he sank into like a state of depression and like bitterness. And apparently his only solace was walking in like these green fields at the Greystones. But as time passed, he got more and more depressed, and he eventually died of a broken heart.
Oh. Tragic monk love story.
I know. And then number 3, which is kind of like the reverse, which is her story, is about Rose Court. And this house is at least 250 years old, said to have been built by a member of the Daring family for his mistress. But the story goes that this mistress fell in love with that monk who lived at Greystones. And then the whole love triangle was like found out, and it was really distressing. And so she drank this is what it says, a fatal cocktail distilled from the juices of ivy and other poisonous berries.
Oh my God.
What
a way to go, though.
What a way, right? Like if you're going to do it, like I've never had anything more me ever. Like I'm going to sip on this cocktail and I'm done with you bitches.
That's not like a cry for help.
I promise it's not. The next one is the Invisible Ghostly Woman. These are literally, there are so many stops on this tour, Hannah. It's insane.
You've got me in such like a creeped out, but also very like intrigued and sort of relaxed state, which is very weird.
You're welcome, honestly. So the Invisible Ghostly Woman, this one's like this isn't like, there's not too much detail about this, but apparently there's this lane, and more than one person can be heard like walking along the lane. And apparently if you're walking along, you can hear like a man and a woman just like chatting really happily, and a dog just like playfully yapping.
Aww.
This is just in like one random lane in like one random street in this tiny ass village that's haunted by everything. This next one, this is the last one I've got because there were so many, but I didn't want to spoil it because we are going here.
Yes.
This one is called Fright Corner. So it's an area where a highwayman is said to have met a really like gruesome death, basically. Yeah. So the story goes that he was pursued across the field by forces of law. So like whatever the police were at that time, and he had like a final stand against them with like his back against this massive oak tree that was apparently stood there until quite recently. I think it was just removed, but basically he was like fighting these people as his last moments, and he was like he was finally overpowered by them, and someone like pierced him with like a sharp steel sword. And that was apparently the first one, and then there was a bunch of steel swords.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so that he had like this massive like final battle, and apparently from time to time people can like see this whole thing play out, like they'll walk past and they'll see the whole situation. Yeah. So it's kind of two accounts. It's like people will say that they go past and they see that whole situation, they see like all of these like men stabbing this man against an oak tree, and others say that they just see his body like pinned to the tree with swords coming out of him.
Wow. That
I
is
know.
intense. I love a good highwayman story as well. Like,
I know.
They're such a like classic kind of story.
You're so right. So on top of all of this, like that was 5 things. That ghost tour takes 3 hours. It's massive. God. Like I was going through the list and it's like so fully planned out. It even tells you like, look in the top right corner. This is where people have reported this thing. Like,
I love that.
It's so good. So, and on top of all of that, the towns around that village have so much recorded paranormal activity. So if you wanted to like extend that trip, you could literally stay in that area. You could
just like town hop.
So much. Yeah. So also more bang for your buck. I mean,
yeah, which so we always like.
This place, exactly. This place has like, it's all planned for us, right?
Yeah.
It's cheap if we want to go to multiple places. It has credentials. So
love a good credential.
I mean, it's in the Guinness World Book of Records. And it's just like, it's known to be like the most haunted town.
Oh yeah. You've like,
so that is Pluckley.
You've gone all in on the first one and now I'm just like,
to be fair, so that I love that one so much. My second one is like kind of just entertaining to me, and my third one I'm so excited about. But yeah, that's Pluckley.
That is so cool. I really want to go there. It sounds awesome. And it also sounds very like cutesy British, like adorableness at the same time.
Honestly, when I looked at pictures, like I said, it was just like hot fuzz little village, but ghosts instead of a cult. Yeah. Will you invest? Will you invest in my?
I will invest in your trip. I will invest in your tour. It sounds very good to me. Love this. So, I am going to start off with probably my least favourite one first. You know, add a little bit of a twist in.
Oh, love it.
But where you have credentials, my first location has celebrity endorsement.
No.
So, we are going to be talking about the 5-star Shelbourne Hotel in Dublin. I didn't know if I said that right then, but I think it is Shelbourne. Shelbourne Hotel in Dublin.
Okay.
And to start this story off, we are going to talk about Lily Collins.
No, I love Lily Collins.
I absolutely love her.
I trust this bitch. What did she say?
Well, this excites me even more because she stated that this happened during filming for The Mortal Instruments, which is legit one of my favourite films. So I'm feeling very like pumped about this.
Oh my God.
So we'll start with Lily Collins' experience and then we'll talk about the general kind of vibes in this place.
Okay, so, tell me everything.
Lily Collins was staying in this hotel while she was filming for The Mortal Instruments. And she was staying in room 225, where she
already a creepy number.
Believed that she was haunted and had shared this on a talk show like later. So she shared this with like not just a small like interest, but with the whole world. So she must fully believe this.
Yeah.
So she said when she was staying in this room, she could hear a giggling little girl ghost.
Oh my God, no! It's a no from me.
Which is like the classic scary story. And what makes this even creepier is the Shelbourne Hotel is said to be haunted by a 7-year-old girl.
Stop.
So Lily Collins essentially was haunted by this little girl. And so the story of this girl is that she was a 7-year-old who died in 1791 from cholera. So I think this was like before it was a hotel. I think it must have been like a big manor or house or something like that. And she was like a servant or something along those lines. But yeah, so she tragically died of cholera way before her time. And she is said to haunt the hotel. So not like this on the website, it does say that there's a specifically haunted room. But I have 2 different room numbers written down for different experiences with this. So I feel like she might just haunt the hotel more than anything. And I've also heard like she isn't the only paranormal thing to occur, but she is the famous thing to occur. Like you go there looking for this little girl. So in 1965, a paranormal investigator called Hans Holzer and a professional psychic called Sibyl Leek went to investigate this location. And they said that they could experience like the traditional cold spots, they could hear different sounds, people talking, walking, all that jazz, all the common ghostly things. But what is super creepy about this experience took place in room 526 with the psychic Sibyl Leek. So she was lying in bed when she started to hear sounds of a little girl crying. And so being a psychic, she kind of reached out to this presence and, you know, interacted with this ghostly presence. And she found out that it was this little girl ghost that had died. And it's
the one that died of cholera.
So she interacted with this girl, and it said that she then encouraged the little girl to come and sit on the bed with her, and she then held the little girl ghost while it cried.
Oh, stop!
So like, it's quite a tragic little story, really. Like, obviously, a lot of them are, but yeah, this spirit seems to have a real connection to the hotel. It is a gorgeous hotel. Like, it's a 5-star hotel, which is why it's probably like my least favorite for this list, because like we can't afford to go there.
No,
but also it is very like big, very spooky, but they don't tend to embrace their hauntedness that much. You know, like they're not a hotel that's offering lots of stuff to do with it, really.
I see.
You know, it's one of those ones where they want to still be a famous 5-star hotel, not like a famous haunted hotel.
I see.
So that is the story of Sherborne Hotel.
Ooh.
And I do want to share as well. So while I was looking for this hotel, like I googled haunted hotels in Dublin, and like a few came up. There weren't crazy amounts, and I found one that I was really like interested in, but I couldn't find any information anywhere except for a like an Expedia or like a travel review that was a 1-star review. And when this hotel was absolutely horrific, like listed all these bad things, and went, but we did have a ghost experience, so can't give it less than 1. So love that.
It was saved by its ghost experience.
So that is brilliant. But
I love it.
That is the Shelbourne Hotel from Dublin.
Oh my god. Okay, so when we're eventually rich, then we'll do that. I'm here for it, and if Lily Collins endorses this, then I believe her. We'll just have to put it on the back burner until
I know, and who doesn't want to, like, more than anything, stay in the room that Lily Collins stayed in? Like, let alone ghosts. Like, that's pretty cool.
I know.
2 for the price of 1.
I know. I love it. Okay.
Back to you, my dear.
Well, back to me. This next one is like, it's not super ghosty, but it's weird. You'll see what I mean. So this is Cannock Chase in the West Midlands, so near me. Basically, it's just this like largely densely wooded area, but it's become known as one of the UK's most paranormal hotspots. But it's actually mostly famous for its werewolf sightings.
Oh my god, I love it.
I'm not lying. I saw so many reviews. I looked this up and I was like, that's way.
Insane.
Like, I'm sorry. No way. But so many people, even like law enforcement. It's mad. So yeah, most famously known for its werewolf sightings. And apparently the creature itself like prowls the outskirts of Stafford.
Oh my god.
Absolutely mad. Yeah, so there have been numerous reports from people who live in the area who say, you know, like they claim to have seen like this hairy wolf type creature standing on its hind legs around the German War Cemetery. Ooh. So there's this road, it's called Camp Road, and the German War Cemetery is sort of near that. So if you go just off Camp Road, apparently this is where loads of people see it. And so it's in between Stafford and Cannock. I don't even know if I'm saying them right, but whatever.
It's hard with English names, aren't they? They're always a little bit confusing.
I have no idea. Like, English is a hard language. So several of the witnesses claim that the creature sort of like springs up on its hind legs, and when it's spotted, it just like runs into nearby bushes. So there's like, from what I found, there's nothing that's like this creature is like attacking people. It's just there, and people see it, and then so it like runs away.
In its habitat more than anything.
That's what it sounds like. Yeah. So in 2007, which is like not that long ago,
but also quite long ago.
Oh, don't say that. Yeah, you're right.
In the scheme of things, it's not that long ago. In the scheme of our lives, it is quite like long ago.
Oh, don't say that. I'm moving swiftly on from that comment. I don't want to think about it. So in 2007, which was not long ago, the Stafford Post newspaper ran a report which said that the West Midlands Ghost Club, who knew that was a thing, had been called to investigate calls from people who'd seen a werewolf-type creature prowling around the chase. Oh. Yeah, so several people they'd claimed that they'd like seen this wolf walking on its hind legs, just like prowling around. So the Ghost Club took what's called credible eyewitness accounts from the local scoutmaster and postman.
Oh Lord!
I was like, wow, yes, credible eyewitness accounts. The local scoutmaster and postman. And they claimed they came face to face with the werewolf.
Of course they did.
Of course they did, yeah. And so their description of it was a large dog-like creature that raised itself up to its full height, which was almost 7 feet tall. And then apparently it darted into the bushes.
Oh my God, that thing has 2 feet on me. Like, that's a terrifying thought.
Oh my God,
just to give context terrible. Of how like big this thing is.
Oh my God. Brutal. So some of the like theories around where this kind of came from or how this creature came into being, there's this whole thing around the devil, and apparently, you know, obviously the devil's given responsibility for a lot of evil stuff, you know, from like curses to all kinds of things, but apparently people blame the devil for the werewolf of Cannock Chase as well. And according to local legend, basically all of this started in 1975, and it was when a 17-year-old boy, of course a 17-year-old boy, in central England in the mid-70s took out his Ouija board to test its powers. So this like 17-year-old kid whacks out a Ouija board and he's just chilling, and apparently he says that he would trade the devil his soul for the power to turn into a werewolf. Yeah, and shortly after, a friend said that he received a call from the teen boy, but could only hear like odd guttural noises from him.
Which is not a phone call you want to receive.
Can you imagine? I call you up and I'm like,
is that like your guttural noise?
That's my guttural
you sound like
noise.
A wind blowing.
I'm sorry for that. So whatever, calls him up, guttural noises, and then a spicy take, the same young man, I think the one that called his friend, was found dead soon after, but then also the guy that was turned into a werewolf was found dead, and apparently he'd killed himself using a silver knife. Silver being the only way to kill a werewolf.
Oh, this guy was prepared for this situation, wasn't he?
He just knew. Maybe he was like chilling with his Ouija board and he was like, yo devil, you can have my soul, but I want to be able to be a wolf, but like how can I end it all? And like then he just starts making weird guttural noises and he panics.
And that was that.
That was that. But yeah, so apparently it isn't even just werewolves that are like in Cannock Chase. There seems to be people say this area is like a portal to the bizarre. Is what it's been dubbed. Like I found so many articles that were like a portal to the bizarre, and also there was something that said magnet for the unexplained.
Yes, good metaphors going on here.
I know, yeah. So apparently, apart from the werewolf rumors, there's also reports of UFOs,
yes. Like a UFO,
and ghostly children.
Oh God,
little
I think
ghosty
that's worse
kids
than the werewolf. Like I think I'd be more intimidated by ghostly children than a werewolf.
Yeah, if a werewolf came up to me, I'd be like, yo, what is this? If a ghost kid comes up to me, like, I might as well end my own life because, like, that kid is terrifying and I will never sleep again. But yeah, so there was apparently even a bizarre sighting of what looked like a medical experiment gone wrong. And guess what? Guess what it was? It was a pig man. Apparently there was a pig man.
That is terrifying. Yeah. I take it all back. That's the worst of the lot. I'd rather see children.
Like it's I mean, if we have to rank it, like UFO, cool. I would happily see that. Werewolf, that's all right. That's fine. Ghostly children, absolutely not. Pigman, hard no.
Pigmen
I'm good.
Just not on the top of my list.
Yeah, I'm all right. So what else have I got? Yeah, so apparently there's this whole theory that they're like living in the forest together. And that just like terrifies me. So basically, yeah, all of those things, it all comes back to the devil apparently. And it's also a portal area, and it's just like this massive, densely like wooded area. Like it's basically like if you think Blair Witch Project, but with a bunch of weird things, like more than just ghosts.
Can you imagine if it was like that 17-year-old boy didn't close off his Ouija board session and then like
that's a really good point.
That became the portal.
Oh, you're a genius.
I like a good Ouija board story.
I reckon. Yeah. And the best bit about all of this, guess what a hotel costs
so it's like £3.
No, it's not £3. It's 32.
Times my guess.
32. Yeah, it sounds crap.
I have low money goals.
But
actually, not bad.
£32, one hotel room. Not bad if it's both of us as well.
And that's a lot to explore.
I'm not mad, especially so much to explore. But we also could get lost in the woods and be killed by a pigman.
I really don't want to be killed.
I don't know, swings and roundabouts. But yeah, that's the werewolves of
I love it. I didn't know that was a thing. Awesome.
Me neither. Absolutely mad. Yeah.
I'm not sure about this one. I might have to consider. There's a pig man involved.
Do you know what? Now that I've really read it back, I need to reconsider if I want to go to this place.
Just a little bit. I think we've discovered our like boundaries now where it comes to creepy, and that's a pig man.
Yeah, I don't know why, but like the idea of the pig man just like feels fundamentally just like wrong to me. Like it feels disturbed.
Ugh, gross.
Yeah.
Moving on.
I don't want to talk about it anymore.
The next one I've got is Arreton Manor. And Arreton Manor is in the Isle of Wight. Because I clearly went like coastal on some of these decisions.
Hell yeah. You did,
I always like to be by the sea for any excuse. So I kind of just like rolled with it.
So true.
Apparently the Isle of Wight is actually quite like a haunted island. Like I read somewhere that it's like one of the
I have stories from the Isle of Wight.
It's cool, isn't it? Like it's one of the most haunted places.
Yeah.
What?
When I went to the Isle of Wight, I went on like one of those like school trips at one of those like adventure places, and we stayed in a cabin in the middle of the woods, and I will not lie to you, that place was terrifying. It was definitely haunted. Another time I'll tell you those stories.
We'll put a pin in that. We'll come back
Isle
to
of
that.
Wight, terrifying.
So the credentials for this bad boy is that it's been almost haunted, but then
oh my god, I love
like
most
the majority
haunted.
of places. My last one was on most haunted as well, so we're like a bit of most haunted endorsement. So
okay, endorsed by something
Arreton
nice.
Manor is in the middle of the Arreton Down Nature Reserve. So it was built in 872 AD. So it is an old boy. And during that time, 8 British monarchs have owned it, including Edward the Confessor, William the Conqueror, Henry VIII, Elizabeth I, and Charles I. So,
oh my god,
these are some intense monarchs living there, like with a lot of dark history behind them. So that's your first red flag right there. Is that?
Oh, that's more than a red flag, sweetheart. That's a bouquet of red flags.
So this property is currently owned by the Pulford family, and they don't. Well, they kind of do embrace it as a haunted location, but they don't so much do like tours and stuff like that. But you can stay here. So they actually, I believe, they still live in this manor because they've only like set certain rooms that you can hire. And like, oh my god, they are gorgeous rooms. So they're very beautiful. But the stories that kind of come from this place are very creepy. And like, I think you could so easily just go and explore it paranormally with or without an investigation or like a tour. So I'm going to first tell you the kind of like the big story. And then I've got someone's experience of what occurred with this story. So the first story is of Annabel Lee. And Annabel Lee, again, was a young girl who died before her time because she was murdered by her brother. Yeah. And she was murdered by her brother after she witnessed her brother suffocating her father. So he murdered her to get rid of the evidence, essentially. So it said that she was thrown from the highest window, and then obviously died when she was thrown from this highest window. And yeah, pretty much.
He yeeted her out the window.
And
oh my god!
It's the haunting is extremely active in the room that she was thrown from. So the highest room in the building is extremely haunted. You can hear her sobbing.
Yikes.
And you can also hear her calling for her mother.
No.
So,
no, that's so sad.
Tragic. Like, there's no tomorrow.
Oh, my God.
So then the story that kind of comes along with this a little bit was the Count Slade de Pomeroy. Of course. Like, what a monarchy name. So...
Yeah. That sounds like
creepy,
a vampire.
So he was aware of this story and had an experience that initially he believed to be to do with this, but it turned out possibly not to be the case. So in the middle of the night, Count Slade de Pomeroy was woken up regularly by knocking at his door, and so he opened it and there was nobody there, and he believed this to be to do with kind of the stories and stuff that were going on. However, one day he had the knock at the door, he opened his door, and he was pushed back into his room by hands that he couldn't see. And what gets creepy about this is housekeeping were walking by at that time, and it said that they saw two monks pushing him back into the room.
No!
So...
No way! So they saw it, but he
didn't see anyone pushing them, but the housekeeping saw the monks pushing him. I know.
What is it with monks?
And little girl ghosts.
Wow. Monks and little girl ghosts dominate the paranormal world.
But yeah, so they're the stories.
Oh my god.
Like you said, a lot of quite troubled monarchs lived here and owned it. So I feel it can't be it for stories. I feel there's got to be a lot more there. But I think primarily they're trying to be a romantic weekend away kind of hotel. So as much as they did have Most Haunted come in, I think they're still trying to keep it under wraps a little bit.
Oh my god, we should definitely watch the Most Haunted episode.
Seriously, I feel we just need to binge some Most Haunted anyway. And I can't remember which one this is, because on my notes, both my notes for this place and the next one I'm going to talk about, I've just written featured on Most Haunted, but on one of these places is one of the most active episodes they've ever had, but I can't remember which one it is.
No.
So...
Oh, that's scary.
Yeah,
don't tell me, we'll just find out.
Arrington Manor in the gorgeous Isle of Wight. And it is a really beautiful place.
Manor. Okay. I bet. I mean, if all of those monarchs live there, it has to be absolutely gorgeous. So I can kind of understand why they sort of keep the whole paranormal aspect of it wrapped away, because it must be gorgeous, and it would be the perfect place for weddings and weekend getaways and cute stuff.
Aren't you really? If you've got a creepy looking place, you go down the haunted route. If it's a pretty place, you go down the there's nothing going on here. No creepy ghosts are going to get into bed with you,
couple. No, exactly. And I guess once you go down the haunted route as well, you can't really go back. And it can look very
and I guess if
sometimes.
you just kind of keep it closed off a little bit, you kind of open up your options a bit.
True. Well, I would like to invest in this
romantic getaway.
A cute romantic getaway for the two of us.
Oh yes,
I'm sure our boyfriends will be very happy about that.
Probably just be glad to get rid of us while we're talking about all ghost stuff.
They will. My boyfriend will be like, great, does this mean I can just play the Xbox? You can go. I don't have to hear you asking for attention all day. Literally. Let's start a club. Okay, next one. I'm so excited about this one. There are kind of two aspects to this. There's the creepy haunted side, which you'll get to, but there's also a very fun nerdy side that I just love. It's just a sweetener for it, So this is Greyfriars Greyfriars.
Oh my God, I've been
Kirkyard
there, I think.
in Edinburgh.
Yeah.
No way.
I've been here.
Oh my God, you have ruined
my God,
this.
yeah. Oh my God, and I know why it's geeky.
Okay, right. Don't say anything.
Yeah. This is exciting.
You do?
Okay.
Oh my God. Okay, cool.
Yes.
All right. Okay, I'm going to talk. So, Greyfriars Kirkyard. It's a graveyard surrounding Greyfriars Kirk in Edinburgh. And in the 19th century, a Scottish policeman was killed, prompting his... Oh yeah, this is a cute... Well, it's not cute, but it's like kind of sweet. I wouldn't say cute. Basically, there are quite a few stories of like haunted stuff in this situation. Obviously, it's a graveyard. But there's this one story about a Scottish policeman who was killed, and he had this like really devoted pet dog who basically like just set up vigil alongside him at his grave for 14 years after he was laid to rest. So the dog would be there for 14 years. He just went every single day. It was a terrier.
He's so cute.
Bobby, Greyfriars Bobby, it's called. And he was said to have died on the 14th of January 1872. But apparently those who like walk in the grounds at night say the old dog still makes himself known, and he like barks and stuff. And so if someone like goes up to like his master's grave, he like has a little bark.
Oh, do you want to know something really cute from when I was there as well? There is a massive pile of sticks in the graveyard, like that people leave as like a little token to Bobby. It's so cute.
That is so cute.
Yeah.
Oh my, well, that's why Bobby's
You wouldn't leave the sticks.
That's like the whole idea.
Yeah, very cute.
No. Oh my God, that's adorable. I'm so glad. Oh my God. So yeah, there have also been... So aside from that, like I think that was really sweet. But apart from that, there have been a lot of reports about this really threatening ghost known as George Mackenzie. And he was a prosecutor of the Scottish Covenanters. Wait, let me actually read this word. Covenanters. Covenanters. Got it. Were there. So believers say that after a homeless man disturbed George Mackenzie's final resting place in 1999, Mackenzie's ghost became troubled and has triggered some strange goings on in the cemetery ever since. So George Mackenzie, in the 17th century, Scotland had obviously like a really intense religious struggle. And that all started because King Charles introduced the Common Book of Prayers. And that was like supposed to be sort of like the only thing people would follow. It was like, you know, we are this now, and this is the only book of prayers that you can't worship anything else. You can't follow any other standards. This is what we as Scotland are following. And he basically declared that any opposition to the book was treason. And basically, George Mackenzie was a draconian lawyer, like he was evil. And he was the man responsible for putting all of the opposition to this new book of prayers down. So, like I said, he was a lawyer. And during the reign of Charles II, he quickly earned a reputation as one of the most vicious persecutors. Yeah. So apparently he had a brutal and unfeeling treatment of the prosecutors. And it earned him like the nickname of Bloody Mackenzie. And like that just is spelt weirdly, but it basically just means like to be like covered or smeared or like running with blood.
Gross.
So that was kind of like his nickname. So he imprisoned so many people, and he would imprison them in a section of that courtyard of that graveyard. Yeah, absolutely terrifying. And apparently he was said to have delighted in their torture. And apparently guards were allowed to beat those people like at their will whenever they wanted to do whatever they wanted. And eventually when they were going to kill those people, their heads were put on spikes and put at the gate. Yeah. And so after his death, Mackenzie was put in like a mausoleum at that graveyard. And it was, you know, the very same graveyard he was prosecuting all of those people who resisted the new law. And his mausoleum's been a site of so many different desecrations. So basically in 1999, the homeless man was like seeking out shelter, and he went into Mackenzie's mausoleum and fell through the floor. Apparently the resulting hole that caused can actually still be seen. And in 2004, 2 teens broke into the tomb and removed a number of unidentified remains. Yeah, I know. I'm like, why would you do that? Like, get a better thing to do on a weekend. And apparently they even
oh my God,
like beheaded one of the corpses and get this. Oh, get this, right? They then used the skull.
I did think you were going to say something else though, and I was worried for a minute.
Yeah. Yeah, well, there you go. There it is. So they were found and tried under like the centuries-old grave robbing law, and it's called violation of sepulture, which just means tomb, like violation of someone's resting place. And so after all of the disruption in the mausoleum, it became like a focus of so much like local superstition. And people reported loads of like ghostly activity around it, like including like scratches and bruises. And it's all attributed to loads of like, there are so many different accounts, but apparently Mackenzie's poltergeist is there. And apparently he's known to be, and this is like a direct quote, as horrific in death as he was in life.
I actually have a story that one tour guide told me. So I went on a tour about the geeky thing that I'm sure you're about to mention. And we went into the graveyard, and she's telling us all the geeky stuff. But then she was saying how she was like, oh, if you're interested, the same company that I work for does do ghost tours around here. And obviously my ears pricked up and I was like, hello, interesting. And she was saying that her friend that runs the ghost tour had done a tour one night, and there was someone on it who didn't really want to be there. They were kind of there because everyone else wanted to go on this tour and they weren't particularly interested. And like they were kind of sulking. They didn't believe any of it at all. And then the tour guide had basically said, like, you know, if you're brave enough, you can go and look into this mausoleum. Like, there's, like you said, like lots of dark connotations with it, and like people claim to see stuff and all that jazz. And he, like, so the tour guide was saying that the person had looked into the mausoleum and then had seen, I think it was a pair of red eyes, had been scratched.
Stop it.
And was just absolutely, like, in shock. Like, and the tour guide,
God.
And the tour guide had never seen anything like that happen. Like, he'd heard, like, been on tours and, like, heard other stuff and all those kind of things, but he'd never had that much of a direct effect on this like non-believer.
Wow. That is see, I always think it's so much more terrifying when someone who like does not believe in it at all, like not even a shred, isn't even open to the idea of it,
like
has a situation where they're just terrified. And they come out of it and they're like, what was that? Oh my God.
So that was that.
That's mad.
No, honestly, like,
I'm sorry that you've already been here, but like, we're going.
I love Edinburgh. I fully think everyone needs to visit at least once in their life. Like, and it's so spooky. And because when I went to Edinburgh, I went by myself. I didn't do any of the creepy stuff. So I didn't do any ghost tours or anything like that. So I've missed out on all of that aspect of Edinburgh. Yes, definitely.
Well, round 2. Hell yeah. I love that you went by yourself, though. I really think traveling by yourself is like one of the best things you can do.
It wasn't the most intense thing, but
you still travelled around. It counts.
Yes. Get geeky.
So that's some of the spooky stuff from there. Hannah already knows about this, but I was gonna say, if you weren't sold by that, I have a really spooky.
Yes,
I love it. Not spooky, but just a sweetener for you. Oh my God, I love this. So, J.K. Rowling, our beautiful, wonderful.
She does a lot for charity, actually,
but she did. She does. You're absolutely right.
Yes,
she does a lot for charity, and that's the bit that counts. But so she basically took loads of inspiration from the names on the gravestones there for characters in Harry Potter, and it is insane. When I was researching this, I was like, no way. So basically, when you go in, just steps from the Elephant House, where J.K. Rowling completely penned the first book, you'll find Mr. Potter. A bunch of the Potters are basically featured on the Giles grave, I believe, in the northern yard. So it's close to the entrance of the whole graveyard. You'll find the Potters, which I think is just absolutely insane. And then if you head through, there's apparently this massive archway in the Flodden Wall, I think it's called. And if you go to the west, you'll find the grave of William McGonagall. And so obviously he was the inspiration behind Professor McGonagall. But in life, William McGonagall was, by all accounts, Scotland's worst poet. And apparently he was the person that made like the infamous minimalist Scottish poem, which was "I saw a cow, it's not there now."
Oh,
which
man,
I just
so
think
Scottish.
is the funniest thing. I know. I saw a cow, he's not there now. But yeah, so then if you bear left at the Flodden Wall, you'll find the grave of Mrs. Elizabeth Moody. And she was the inspiration for Alistair Mad Eye Moody. But the most impressive of all, if you keep going near the Flodden Wall, you'll find none other than Lord Voldemort himself. Yep, the grave of Thomas Riddle. It's amazing. So actual Thomas Riddle died in Trinidad in 1802 at the age of 26. And his grave is so popular now that it's literally marked on Google Maps. It's so mad. So we have a village graveyard with a cute-ass dog ghost, a scary ghost, and a bunch of Harry Potter references.
Like,
so
honestly,
I'm sorry,
I loved it.
but we're going.
I love this place. And I had the best brunch of my life in a cafe directly opposite the elephant.
Oh.
Like, so I could see it from a distance.
Oh, no way.
And like it was a good breakfast.
Sold. I'm sold. I already was sold, but
I've just resold you on your own sales pitch.
Oh my god.
I loved it.
Like I absolutely want to go.
Edinburgh's incredible. We're going back. We're doing the vaults. We're going to do it all. And like I had some of my creepiest experiences in Edinburgh as well. So no.
Yeah, and so you weren't even trying as well. Like, you were actively avoiding
Edinburgh defo haunted. You heard it here.
Well, you heard it here first.
But yeah, gorgeous place.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
You win.
Okay. Well, that's what I have on
Greyfriars
Churchyard in Edinburgh.
You definitely like brought me back
You're
to
welcome.
it and made me reminisce on it, which was very nice. I enjoyed that.
Oh,
a very lush
I'm
place.
Glad. I'm really glad.
So I am going to finish off with the Jamaica Inn in Cornwall. Oh, I'm going it. Like, we are going.
I'm so excited.
It's incredible. So again, this was featured on Most Haunted, and there's just so much like history and stuff going on in this story. So the Jamaica Inn was built in 1750 as a coaching inn for weary travellers who were travelling between the Launceston and Bodmin moors. Don't know if I said that right. So the moors were incredibly treacherous, and this was kind of like a safe stopping point. So it starts off quite nice at being like a light in the distance kind of thing. But then it was also
sounds kind of sweet.
Used largely to smuggle contraband, mainly brandy and tea. So it's on the Cornwall coast. It's near the Cornwall coast, so it's a stopping point to be able to do this smuggling. And what's quite cool is they still have a smuggling museum within the inn, so that contains lots of artifacts from the smuggling days. So, like, my first thought is like that's got some history attached to it right there. And it could be like a lot of people think it's called the Jamaica Inn because stuff was being smuggled from Jamaica. That is not actually the case. It was named for the Travellini family, I think. And they were actually governors of Jamaica. Okay. So it's named after that instead.
No way.
So yeah, pretty interesting.
Oh my god, that's so cool.
As we move forwards in time, in the 19th century, it was a very popular place for a gang of wreckers to hang out. So a gang of wreckers, essentially, they would use beacon lights on the coastline to entice in ships, and when they would crash into the rocks below, they would loot them. So they would, basically, the ships thought they were safe to come in, they were being guided by a lighthouse, whereas actually it was people who were going to be stealing everything. So this was kind of like a famous place for this, that people would come here that had done that. So that expands its dark history a little bit. And then the history kind of goes further interestingly, because it's actually the setting for the Daphne du Maurier novel of the same name. Yeah, so basically Daphne du Maurier was inspired because her friend ended up lost on the moors, and her friend actually was saved by her horses, who brought her into the inn. So that is the inspiration for that. And again, there's a whole thing in the Jamaica Inn dedicated to that. They're quite big on embracing what they're known for. So, like, they've got a smugglers section, a Daphne du Maurier section, and even on the website, they have a ghost section.
No way. Wait, Daphne du Maurier was, she wrote like Rebecca a big as well, name. Right? Oh my God.
So that's really, really cool.
Yeah.
So then,
oh my God.
I'm trying to think of the right way to do this. There's then a kind of a non-confirmed but very believed kind of incident that occurred here. And that was of a murder of a unknown man. So he was essentially a stranger, and he was at the bar, and he was enjoying a glass of ale when someone stuck their head in from the door outside and asked for him to come outside for a chat, you would presume. So he left his half-finished glass of ale on the side and went outside, and he was never seen alive again.
Oh, no.
So then his corpse was later found on the moors. So it's said that this dead man's corpse regularly returns to the bar searching for his half-finished drink. And if that's not the most English
that's
ghost.
what I would go back for. Yeah, only an English ghost would be like, yo, I'm dead, but I didn't finish my ale.
Other accounts also see this man sat on the wall outside the inn. So it's kind of thought that he's very lost and doesn't know, like, where to go. He was kind of,
Should we
leave it there? I wonder if people do that.
We should buy him an ale.
I imagine people probably do.
Leave it there. Probably.
Yeah, definitely.
If we've thought of it, someone else
he
has.
is not the only ghost of the Jamaica Inn. There's also said to be, and like this I find hilarious, this is everywhere, but there's no more details. So there's a man in a tricone hat and a cloak who will walk through solid doors and walls. But like there's no explanation for this. He just has a hat and a cloak and walks through walls.
I feel like I've seen that like it's representation in so many places. Thing, isn't it? With so
I
but
don't know,
also
maybe
with
he's
no
just like a patron or I don't know. But yeah, so he's quite regularly seen. And it's also said that you can hear people talking in a foreign tongue. However, this foreign tongue is actually thought to be Old Cornish. So that's quite cool. It's quite commonly said that like the managers in the like back office hear that happening. And then, can you imagine? Also a common thing is that you can hear horses' hooves and wheels turning on the cobbled courtyard outside, which I love.
That's like
nice.
feels
it's quite
really
like
nostalgic for me for some reason. I don't know why.
Really, isn't it? So, like I said, they really embrace the ghost tour here. So you can do weekend ghost tours, late night ghost tours. They offer specific rooms for ghost hunters. So you can do a thing where you can do a ghost tour.
No way.
And within your ghost tour, you get a 3-course meal. I think it's like a 3-course meal, the ghost tour in the evening for £70. And then you get like half off your room as well. So you can like stay and continue on. So they really do
oh my God, I love
embrace it here.
Take my money.
Oh, I've just spotted another thing.
Oh my God.
So they also is said that in room 5 there is a distressed mother and a crying baby. So again, we've got a crying child. Oh yes. But it's said that the most haunted rooms are room 3, 4, 5 and 6. So we want one of those, realistically.
Okay.
Yes.
We should take a few people with us.
Oh my God, yes, like Scooby-Doo.
And we all split up and look for clues.
Literally. So, of course, like, people have got lots of different accounts from these ghost tours and stuff, but the most up-to-date and creepy thing I'm going to finish on took place in 2018. Now, that is recent. And basically, you can find this on, if you just Google it, it will come up. But there is CCTV evidence of what is thought to be a phone being flung off the hook in the restaurant. Like, in the back of the restaurant.
Stop.
Like, it's creepy. Like, you could debunk it. And I think it is important to say that. Like, it is just essentially, it's a phone on a wall, and then it just comes off and it goes flying to the floor. And there's no one around it. There's no one, like, there's no way it could have been, like, bumped or something like that. Yeah. Like, it could have fallen, or, like, someone might hit the wall on the other side, or anything like that. But realistically, it looks very creepy. In the CCTV footage, it's in the, like, the back bit of the restaurant. I can't think what it's called. A kitchen. There we go. Don't know why that was such a struggle to come to that. But so there's one employee in the kitchen, and they're, like, doing something on the back wall, and you can see the phone come off the wall and go flying down, and the employee turns and is absolutely baffled by how this has happened. Like, she's just looking at the phone on the floor, like, looking confused. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Quite recent, like, semi-evidence, which I think is awesome. Oh my god. So yeah, that is the Jamaica Inn.
I like it. I really like it. We're going. Oh my god. This is so I can't believe we've gone through everything already. Like, I want to keep going.
Like,
I'm so down for that. We have to compile a list,
and it kind of,
like,
like,
which ones we're going to go to.
The fact that we can't go anywhere at the moment, it's like building up my hype for when we can go to these places, then we can go all out and do them. Like, it's going to be cool.
Yeah, I know. Like, exactly. For anyone that like is actually listening, if anyone ever listens, we had big plans for this. Like, we started going. Like, last year we were ready to do more, and it's, like, something that we absolutely love. We were.
This will do until we can get back on our.
This is a fun substitute.
Searches.
I like it. Absolutely.
Yes.
But unfortunately for now, that is all we have.
Yes.
So we're done for today, but we will see you all next week.
Yeah, we will work out something.
Yeah. See you all.
Thanks for listening. Bye.